to throw out a few movie recommendations. Someone mentioned in a comment if I could say a couple of like movie recommendations or things to watch. And I said I'd do my next ramble, but I figured I wanted to do this since I've seen some movies recently. I just finished. I'm filming this Thursday night, so speaking on Friday. I just finished watching a movie that my friend actually told me to watch like a year ago, and I finally did. But anyway, what I've been watching, we watched the movie Cobweb. I think that was the other night, maybe like last weekend. It stars Anthony Starr and Lizzie Kaplan. They're the parents of this kid. He's hearing knocking on the wall and stuff, and they're like, "Oh, what do you know? Like, you shouldn't do that. You know, it's not. It's all nightmares. It's in your head and all that." And he goes to school, and the teacher's like concerned because he's writing these weird drawings. You know, the typical thing in these kind of movies. But it was pretty good. Kind of horror movie. You find out what the thing in the wall is, and there's some twists along the way, and it's pretty cool. You know, I won't spoil any of it, but it's well acted. I will say the ending was kind of stupid, just the way it like played out. But overall, it was pretty good. Yeah, it wasn't overly creepy. There were some parts. It was kind of a little. Not a ton happens outside of the kid hearing knocking on the walls and then a voice and stuff like that. But you know, the last maybe like maybe it's about a half hour is pretty good. Solid movie. Nothing spectacular, but it was solid. I don't know. I'm gonna try to like not spoil anything from these movies. We finished up Sweet Tooth, that show on Netflix based on I think a DC property, like an end of the world type show. This virus because you find out like there's hybrids. They call them kids born like part animal, part kid. I'm not gonna spoil much of that too if you haven't watched it, but you find out why. Like they like to round up these kids and kill them, and they're trying to make a vaccine for this thing because they blame them for it happening and stuff. There is supposed to be a new season, so but I like that. I think I talked about it a little bit in another video, but and what was I watching? The last two movies I watched myself. I watched one yesterday called Tunnel. This is also on Tubi. I watched this other movie on Tubi as well. This was a pretty good found footage movie. A little different. This one takes place in Australia, and this woman's like a reporter, and she's doing a story. Because I guess the government wants to turn like this water in these like old abandoned subway systems or something, and they want to recycle the water. And the woman's like, "Oh, so everybody's out of there, right? Because I guess homeless live down there." And you find out some homeless actually were still living down there, and like something's been happening, and the government's not talking about it. So the woman and her crew go down into the tunnels, and you find out what's down there and what's happening and shit. And this is another pretty good one as well. I liked it because it was kind of like a real world thing where like, we're going to recycle water, we're going to reuse it and all this stuff, and do all this stuff. And then you have the horror element in there as well. And this one was cool because there's a little bit of spoilers here. They're actually interviewing two of the people, the woman and another guy, the cameraman. They're interviewing them as, you're seeing the events that have happened, what was taped. So these two have made it out. The other two people did not. Well, one did, but died at the end. The other didn't. Well, they just say he's missing, but pretty well done, actually. I like this one. It was pretty cool, actually. I don't think if there's anything else I'd watched before this one. we started watching 1899 on Netflix. I know it got canceled after one season, but I wanted to watch it. It's pretty cool. Kind of like a Lost type show. Those kind of sci-fi shows. It's on a ship. And they find another abandoned ship. They're on like a cruise ship going to America. It takes place in 1899, but they have people trying to get to America, and then they come across another ship that's been missing for 4 months. Shit starts happening, and this mystery and everything. It's pretty cool. I think we're 3 episodes into that. Anything else that we watched? Oh, I think I talked about that movie that... Oh, I forget what it was. But it takes place in England. The guy's older, and he like walks across the country, literally, or to see his dying friend in hospice. That was a pretty emotional movie. That one was pretty good. I can't remember what it was called though. Something Harold Fry or something like that. It was pretty good though. What's the guy's name? It's Jim Broadbent or something like that. He's been in a bunch of stuff. He played Slughorn, I believe, and a couple of the Harry Potters. That one was pretty heartfelt. And tonight, did I watch anything else? I probably might have seen another movie that I'm forgetting. I can't remember. I guess I talked about Talk to Me as well. We saw that in the theater. I talked about that. I really liked that. It was a solid, different horror kind of thriller movie. A little bit of a different take on the possession genre, which was nice to see. Had some creepy moments in there as well. It was just well done, well acted. That was a good one. I think I talked about that a little bit, though. I would actually recommend, that's one of my recommendations. I'll use that as a recommendation. I would recommend Tunnel as well, the found footage movie I just talked about, because that was cool. If you're into those kind of movies, and I like those kind of movies, they can be very hit or miss. Some could be, you'll know about 20 minutes in if you're going to like it or not. But I would recommend that if you're into the found footage movie, because it's almost like a part documentary, part like expose, a part horror thing. It's kind of cool. I would definitely check out Talk to Me. It might still be in the theater. I don't know, but I'm sure it will come to videos soon enough. Like I said, that was a different kind of take on the possession genre. And it was creepy, and if you've seen the videos, it's about, the trailer, it's about like a kind of a hand that's like in cement or a mold, and if you hold it and say "talk to me," you will see a spirit on the other end of the hand that's pretty much attached itself to the arm, I should say, the arm of the hand. And if you say "let me in," they'll possess you, but you want to get out of there quick, because the longer it stays in you, the worse it gets. So definitely cool. And then, of course, it starts with they're all having fun doing it. They're like throwing parties and shit with the thing. And then, of course, it gets bad, because one girl's brother uses it, and then the other girl thinks that thinks the kid's possessed by her dead mother. And it gets worse. The kid's in there too long, and it gets violent and nasty. And I won't spoil anything else, but the movie, another recommendation for this is a movie I watched tonight. This came out in 2017. Like I said, my friend, I think it could have been 2 years ago he mentioned it. But it's Super Dark Times. I watch this on Tubi. It's probably elsewhere. This was a cool movie. Takes place in the 90s. I pegged it at about, because one kid mentions True Lies, which came out in 94, but I guess he'd seen it like at home on video. And then the one kid was playing Twisted Metal, it looked like. And I think that might have come out like 95, maybe 96. So I'm pegging this maybe like a late 95 or an early, probably maybe like early, because it takes place in winter, I believe. It's not like snow on the ground, but the way they're dressed and stuff, it's maybe in like a February, March. So I'm thinking maybe like a 96. It's about these kids, Josh and Zach are two best friends. It's just them being kids at first, and then they're hanging out with this kind of kid, Daryl, who's kind of an annoying prick, and his cousin. And then there's an accident because they go to the kid Josh's house, and his brother has gone to the Marines, and he's got some weed, and then the kid had a katana, so they take the katana out, and they're like hanging out in the woods or whatever field, and they're cutting open milk cartons that they filled with water, and the one kid, Daryl, had stolen the weed because he's like, no, don't take the weed, and he gets pissed at him. One kid, Daryl, accidentally gets killed because they start kind of fighting, and then of course they have to they cover up the body and get rid of the sword. Even the cousin's like, all right, we gotta get rid of the sword too. And then from there, it's like the one kid, I think Zach, is like getting paranoid about it. He's having nightmares. He can't sleep. The other kid, Josh, has kind of stayed home from school a few days. He's just kind of holed up in his room. The cousin's not in it as much. He's kind of just like, listen, man, don't talk to me. You don't know me and shit. Like, they're all teenagers. I want to say the two of them might be in some maybe 11th grade or 10th grade. I don't know. The cousin's younger, I think, or he looked younger. But I gotta say, this movie was really well acted in the sense that they actually act like teenagers. And I had to look up how old these kids were in real life, and I was, I had to take years off because this movie came out in 2017. So they probably all would have been in their early 20s when this was made. But they did a good job of use a lot of these movies with kids who are in high school. They ain't acting like high schoolers, even if they're around the age. A lot of the time, they don't act like we all acted in high school, This one it's awkward, and it's just a lot of cursing and shit, and just it's well done on that front. And there's also the one girl, Allison, they both but the girl Allison likes the kid Zach, and there's the awkwardness between their interactions. They go to kiss a few times, it doesn't work out, but the kid Zach is just acting so weird and paranoid about what has happened to the kid Daryl that comes off really well. The ending was fine. It was just it turns into kind of a little bit of a slasher type movie. Not much, but I won't ruin anything, but really good movie. I would absolutely, that's another recommendation. Check that out. Now, if you were I was either a little older than these kids were supposed to be during that time, or around the same age, I would think. Because they would have pegged 10th or 11th grade, the two of them, and the girl Allison. But they really got the whole feel of the movie, even when they're just hanging out, having fun before the accident happens. It's really well done. The scene, they go to a gas station, they get some squid, the stuff I got and I did the eating video of. And it's just kids being, acting like actual kids, which you don't see in a lot of these movies. It was authentic, or more authentic than other movies are. And they do a good job with it. Like I said, the acting is good. At some points, it's maybe a little cheesy, but I don't know, I thought it was well done, and the way of the stuff, the kids playing the PlayStation and other stuff like that. It was very 90s esque. It had a good feel to it, just the way it was filmed too. You could tell it was actually had to have been winter because just leaves are on the ground and stuff, and just, I don't know, it had a feel to it that was just very kind of nostalgic for someone who grew up in the 90s or was a teenager in the 90s. And, it just had a good feel to it. I don't know if the person who directed it, was a teenager around that time as well, but I don't know. It was well done. It was a good movie. Good little kind of thriller movie as well. There's been other movies like that where people either accidentally get killed or they're killed on purpose by a group of other kids. But this one was good. I would actually totally recommend this as well. As Talk to Me. And Tunnel as well. I would check those 3 movies out. What else would I recommend that I've seen somewhat recently? Transformers Rise of the Beasts, I would check out. That's on Paramount now. I like that. We saw that a little while ago. Cool movie. It is kind of a sequel to Bumblebee. Because Bumblebee's in it. And it takes place after that. It's well done. There's a lot of Autobot action, a lot of robot action stuff. I would definitely check that out as well if you're into the Transformers. It's better than those other ones that came out Shia LaBeouf. There's like 5 of them. I don't think he was in all of them. I only saw the first one and some of the second. I was just like, I can't. I just wasn't into those. What else? Let me see. Actually, I have Tubi on here. Let's see if I can find anything else if there's on here that I've watched recently. I'm gonna recommend. I'm gonna recommend 2 more movies. I've talked about these movies in the past and might have actually said to watch them, but one is Leaving DC. These are both found footage movies. Leaving DC. I don't know. I watched this on Amazon. God, it had been like 5 or 6 years ago at this point. Maybe about, I don't know, maybe a little after, but I think it had to be maybe 27, maybe it was even before that. Leaving DC is about a guy who lived in DC and he moved. He's kind of working remotely. He's like a journalist, I think, as well. He moved into, I think, West Virginia, kind of the woods. And his first night there, in his house, he hears noises outside, and then he decides to record it. And he's hearing stuff, so a lot of the movie is him going over his recordings and stuff like that. And every night he's hearing this shit. Really cool movie. It's a little bit different of a found kind of footage movie. That was a good one. I'll definitely check that out. I don't want to spoil anything there either, but... And the other one is Hell House LLC. I've talked about this. Another cool found footage movie. It takes place in, I think it's a fictional town upstate New York. I think Super Dark Times also takes place upstate. But it's about a group that does haunted houses in different places every year. I guess they rent out a place, and they're renting out this hotel. In the beginning of the movie, this is another one that's almost like a fake documentary about what happened, because they're interviewing like journalists and other people. And they, you see what happened at the haunted house's opening night. People are running out screaming and stuff, and they say it's a gas leak, but the one journalist is like, it totally wasn't. He goes in there and takes some pictures, but he's like, I went to the basement, I looked down, he's like, I've been to a lot of shitty, creepy places in my time. He's like, no way I was going in that basement. And then they find another girl who was part of the group of the house, and they interview her, and then you're seeing video of when they set up the haunted house, and they were setting it up, everything leading up to it, and stuff that was going on in there and shit. Really fucking creepy. Really good found footage movie. Absolutely check that out. Sorry about that. Absolutely check. If you're gonna check out any of these movies, first, I would say Hell House LLC, and then Super Dark Times. But this was a really good found footage movie. Like, really, legitimately creepy. For sure, like absolutely creepy, and it's just, I like the way it's kind of like coming from a style of, it wasn't really a gas leak, and that, it's just really good. They made 2 other ones that were actually not bad either, but the first one is the best of the 3. So I definitely check out all those movies that I just said: Super Dark Times, Hell House LLC, Leaving DC, Transformers: Rise of the Beasts, Talk to Me, Tunnel as well. I'm a big fan of the found footage stuff, and like I said, it could be hit or miss. But when it's good, it can be really good. There was another one, I think it was called Butterfly Kisses. I talked about it a while back. I think it was called. That was really cool. It was like a guy investigating like these people that disappeared. They like look down this, I think it's a train tunnel for a certain amount of time or something, and something happens, and then one guy starts like kind of losing it because he's like doing a movie. He wants to do a movie about this like urban legend, then he starts losing it and shit. It's really good. I think it's called Butterfly Kisses. I would check that out too. But yeah, that's what I've been watching recently. I'm trying to do a better job of like not, because sometimes I'll say what I was watching and I will just like tell everybody the whole movie and kind of ruin it. I'm trying to do better. If I do what I've been watching videos, like do better with not spoiling things. But yeah, that's just what I've been watching, and some movie recommendations. I might do recommendations from here on out. Like I said, I was going to do it in a ramble, but I decided to say, if I'm talking about what I've been watching, like if I do what I've been watching videos from now on, I'm going to do some, either recommend the stuff I've been watching, and also do some other recommendations if stuff pops in my head. But anyway, yeah, give this video a like if you're into it and you want to see more recommendations and stuff like that. But yeah, thanks for checking this out, and have a good day. Did I not? No, I did. That's weird. This thing was just like auto-focusing there, and the autofocus is not on. I think this laptop's on the fritz. But anyway, yeah, thanks for checking this out, and